probably make some money. Hey.
Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm David.
And I'm ranting Gary.
And we're live
Yes, we
because
are.
Gary hates doing recorded videos. He only wants to do live videos from now on.
Well, I was actually mentioning that is I really do enjoy the live videos more.
He's just been ranting about the videos he's putting up. He's putting one up tonight?
Yeah.
Wow. The
Sometimes.
Insomniac Club won't know what to do with themselves.
Indeed. And then I'm going to do a Insomnia Club pajama party on Friday night. So midnight, Friday the 26th Pacific time.
Oh, there you go.
Yay me.
You sacrifice for the viewers. Yeah, mind you, Gary does get up like at 5 o'clock in the morning. So if he's doing a midnight show.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, on Saturdays, I typically don't get up. Well, I do get up at 5, but that's just to feed the cats and then go back to bed. But
maybe if you let more food out for the cats, they wouldn't wake you up.
No, they want to go outside and play with their friends.
Yeah.
It's all about going outside. The food is the bonus.
Brooke is brain with panic.
What I thought you and I could read on is that report that came out, and it's called STAT, S-T-A-T.
Oh yeah, I read on that one last night.
I figured you would be on that one. Is it retatrutide? Is that how you pronounce the drug? So I wanted to do this earlier, but I've been busy this week. Where there's this drug. It's not FDA approved for weight loss, but it's a drug that apparently is very, very effective at helping people lose weight. What do you remember what the actual drug is approved for, or what it's?
I don't think it's approved yet. It's a drug that hasn't been approved yet, but it's
just an experimental drug.
The GLP-1.
Yeah, and so what was interesting was there was an application provided for compassionate use. And what was unusual was this application was for a 79-year-old man who was suffering from obstructive sleep apnea and pulmonary hypertension, which I guess affects the lungs.
It's
I'm not a doctor. I didn't sleep in a Holiday Inn Express last night.
And there's the actual thing, but this is all about his normal health problems.
Right. And what's interesting is normally when there's a compassionate use application, it's not for an individual, it's for a group of people. And this one was for an individual. And what's even more unusual is the FDA officials granted it.
Pulmonary hypertension, shortness of breath during routine activity, fatigue and weakness, dizziness or fainting spells, chest pain or pressure, swelling in the ankles, legs, or abdomen, racing pulse or heart palpitations. Yep.
So
now, as somebody who works in the pharmaceutical industry and who has worked at companies where our drugs have been used for compassionate use, let me tell you that they just don't. A weight loss drug is not a life-saving drug. That I just want to throw that out there. That is not what weight loss drugs are. And for the FDA to grant compassionate use for a weight loss drug is remarkable. Now, it just so happens that the patient's 79 years old, wink, wink, and I guess 3 different sources were confirming that. And when it was postulated that it was the dear leader of this country who was receiving that, and the White House, one of the press secretaries, Desai, and then Stephen Chung absolutely lose their mud on the internet. It's like, wow, methinks thou doth protest too much.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
The more they protest like that, the more you know you're onto something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just there'd be such a combination of events that first of all, that takes a lot of grumbus to say as an individual, oh, I need this medication. I mean, how would anyone know about this? Right?
Well, he's got the best doctors out there, and the FDA reports in, and so they know what's out there. But yeah, no, that's the doctors talking with. Again, I think somebody was pointing out like the 22 doctors on his last visit to. That's right. Desperation ignores 22 doctors. Rose Blue put that up there. His last visit to Walter Reed, he had more doctors looking over him than like a football team on both sides.
Oh, man.
Would be fielding.
Yeah. What's interesting is it's like you said, it's a weight loss drug. This isn't there's weight loss drugs out there. You could take, my wife is finally got onto one. It's just a pill. It's not even a shot.
Yeah.
And she's on it. And the reason why she wants to get on it is because she's on a couple other different meds. And if she can lose about 20, 25 pounds, she feels like she can get off all the meds.
Right.
Well, for her, it's not for vanity; it's for her health.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's
it would
fine.
it would be the same way for Dear Leader. He's got to get the weight off of him, even though he only weighs 240 pounds plus a whole lot more.
Well, that's what I was just going to say is, I thought he was like 6'3", 230 pounds. I mean, I'm sorry, 6'3", 230, you should be in pretty good shape. You don't really need to lose weight.
Yeah.
That's about right for that frame. You could probably get down to 220, 210, but there's no need. But if you look at that man, either he has no muscle mass and 230 pounds of fat, or the scale, someone turned down the gravity when he hopped on the scale at the doctor's office and turned it back up after he got off the scale.
Okay, so you're just gonna rant, or you gonna throw some cards?
Oh, well, gosh, I guess we could throw some cards.
He's gonna just rant. Exactly, Maeve. He's 6'3", 215 in perfect health. Why would he ever need a weight loss drug?
Oh my God.
Or statins or anything like that. Hey, Marina.
Hey, Marina. He's 240 in the shoeless. Yes. It was 240. The scale hit 240 at one point.
Exactly. Right. It kept right on going.
Yeah, maybe it tops out at 240, and the scale kept going around another 60 pounds. All right, so let's see. Let's take a look at the energy around Trump's Retatrutide. Is Ratatouille. Yeah, Ratatouille.
He's gonna go
the 79-year-old patient. What do we need to know about this person that got the compassionate use approval by FDA officials? Okay, so we got the Queen of Wands.
Melania wants a little bit of action there, and Donald can't get his pull up.
There's a lot of activity going on.
I mean, Donald wears pull-ups.
Queen of Wands. Come on. She's waiting for Barry, but Barry's not moving quickly enough for the pulmonary hypertension there. Queen of Wands is about multitasking, taking lots of actions. Clearly, in the White House, there are clearly a lot of things going on that Trump has to kind of keep on top of, that he's trying not to sleep through. Challenge. Okay, so this could be doctor's actions. How many physicians did he have in his last
22 in his last doctor's visit or something
I could see this card representing 22 physicians at his doctor visit.
Exactly.
The challenge is the options they have aren't good. So here's an opportunity to try an experimental drug.
Well, I think they probably have tried a bunch of other different options, and he won't use them,
or they're not satisfied with the results of them.
Exactly. Well, it'd be a compliant patient.
Energy underneath it is the Lover's card. Sorry, I got some glare there. The Lover's card. So this is about relationships. You're pulling strings, if you will, is kind of the feeling I get from that card. Hey, we gotta see what strings we can pull to get this guy. Because just like when he got treated for COVID, I think he was using an experimental drug for that as well, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
In the past, you've got the Seven of Wands, the efforts taken to combat and fight off the diseases that ail him. Current situation is the King of Pentacles. He needs to keep the grift going. He's got access to the best healthcare. He doesn't want to die ever. So this is just, to me, he's pulling his weight here. He's using his power. He's using his influence to influence people to do things to help him with his fight. That card doesn't surprise me at all. The overarching energy is the man needs a vacation. He needs to step away. He needs to relax. He needs to get away from the situation that he's going to find himself in. Otherwise, he's going to find himself inside the casket, not sitting on top, lying on top of it. Lesson to be learned is Ace of Pentacles. You need to start taking care of your health. You need to take new actions to take care of your health. And I guess this new action is an experimental drug. Maybe this will help him. The outcome is strength. Whether this is literal, that it will help him, this drug will help him regain his strength, or if it's just simply a metaphorical, I have to show that I'm strong, because strong men and dictators can't be weak. They have to be strong. And I need this drug to maintain the illusion that I am a strong individual. Did I lose you, David?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all me.
Sorry, I was looking up the Trump Mall speech to see what happened with that.
Hey, Marina just said there's 240 in the room and only 15 likes. Well,
6.
I can't hit the like button, so I can't skew the numbers there.
Now, I would say this, it just for the audience, a lot of anxiety over this guy and the impact he's had on this country. But understand, we do not have another 2.5 years of this guy in the presidency. That's not going to happen. If they are giving him a weight loss drug for compassionate use because they're trying to strip the weight off of him for these various maladies, and somebody else had written to me in the comments saying there's also an A1C value that if they're going to do some type of surgery on you, they want to get that value down, and it's higher in people with diabetes and things along those lines. And I don't know if you've seen the pictures of his fingers, but he has finger pokes in his thumb and middle finger. So they're doing doing blood sticks on his fingers, which is what you do for diabetes. Yeah. And if they're trying to get him on a weight loss drug so that he can lose weight, so he can get his counts down, so he can actually have surgery, things are not. That dude is not healthy. He's not healthy in his mind. He's not healthy in his body. He's not healthy in his emotions. Nope. He's extremely sick all the way around. And now the oligarchs are starting to leave him. And there's a lot of political infighting around him with senators and Congress people. These are the opening stages of his downfall and removal from office.
Yeah, it's interesting because Trump has been sponsoring candidates to run against incumbents and having some success, and it's kind of a double-edged sword. So great, he's happy because he's got his candidate past the primary and into the elections for November, but that's also freed up the incumbents that lost to Trump's pick. They were already kind of like not too sure about this guy, but they were towing the party line. Now they don't have any loyalty and allegiance. They can't be harmed anymore. They got that whole 10 of Swords card. And it's like, okay, now they can speak their mind. and they're starting to vote against him, like on the War Powers Resolution Act, for example.
Yeah. I saw that Trump, when he was having his lunch with the senators, he was asking, why did 4 senators vote with the Democrats to limit his war powers? And Senator Bill Cassidy, the one he lobbied against, stood up and said, is that a rhetorical question, or would you like an answer? And Trump said he wanted an answer. So he gave him an answer, basically said, you've told the American people nothing about why we went to this war. And you said this war was going to take 4 weeks, and it's been 4 months. Mm-hmm. And, people, we spent all this money, and people have been hurt, and we don't know why we're there. That's why we're voting against this. And then Trump got all surly on him, and Cassidy got surly back, matching his energy.
Yep. And he's got a point. It's funny. I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, on one hand, I'm happy that the grand old party, there's people speaking their mind finally, but I'm pissed off because that this is something that should have been happening a long ass time ago, except that we're towing the Trump line because we don't want to be primaried and we want to stay in power and blah, blah, blah. And I don't want Trump to yell at me.
Read between the lines.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Screw these guys. No, these guys are all crooks. F those guys. I have no love for any of them. I mean, honestly, it's like, no, you guys are the same ones that poo-pooed the first trial to remove him from office. You wouldn't do it the second time, and you've been complicit with everything this guy's done.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I've got real mixed emotions. On one hand, I'm happy that they're finally standing up, but at the same time, it's like, you are part of the problem. You are part of the reason why we're here is because you wouldn't stand up earlier for what was right.
And this is going to be Mitch McConnell's, his legacy is he had the opportunity to stop this in its tracks back in 2020, 2021, and he chose not to. Twice he chose not to. So I'm just asking, is Mitch still on the mortal coil or the mortal plane? I did a reading on that last night. Let's see if we have any updates on that one. I don't know if you know this, Gary. Mitch McConnell's been missing for 10 days. He's been in the hospital for 10 days. And
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, he's not coming back to vote at all this week either.
Oh my.
Okay, so what's going on with Mitch McConnell's health? He's been in the hospital for 10 days. Apparently, rumor has it that he was taken out of his house on a gurney. He might have had a big stroke. What's going on with Mitch McConnell? 3 of coins, dark health, people looking at him, working on him. 3 of cups. Somebody celebrating, or the lack of celebration in it. Underneath it all is the Ace of Cups. Boy, maybe I'm coming into this reading here. Things are very quiet, and it's almost like people are coming together with a celebration. And that tells me he's near death, because you think about, Gary can certainly relate to this. When my mom was in hospice and when she was on basically the last week of her life, I think I was over there almost every day, twice a day at my sister's house, staying with her. It's like family and friends came down to say their goodbyes before you're gone.
Yep.
So I don't think he's gone yet, but I don't think he's at all well.
Yes. I've got cats visiting me.
I saw that.
I opened the door to the shed, and they're like, "Oh, the forbidden shed."
We got the Page of Cups in the past. What do we got? The Page of Swords now. King of Wands. Oh, God, I'm flipping this upside down, but I'll just read that as reversal. In the past, they've been treating him. The treatments that they've been trying to give him aren't working. It's just they're looking at various things like that. And with the Page of Swords, they've run out of ideas. If they could get him on a weight loss drug, and I really do have a lot of glare on this, don't I? If they could get him on a weight loss drug, they would do that. But they run out of ideas. So I think this is the doctor saying, basically, there's nothing we can do. We got to make him comfortable. The the Seven of Cups reversed is, you're taking the good with the bad, but there's no choice here. There's no choice of good with the bad. You're stuck with the choices that you're dealt with.
To me, it's like you can't fool anyone. You're not able to fool anyone with what's going on.
There's no choice. This is it. And all this is telling me is we make him comfortable. Big health problems, very little we could do. Here's some Tylenol. And if it gets really bad, we'll give you morphine. Mm-hmm. He's basically, think of Mitch McConnell as having like a week left to live. If it might be a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less, but if you sort of get in the mindset that he's probably going to be dead and gone in a week, that's probably a reasonable estimate of what's going on with him.
That's kind of.
I don't think he's dead yet, Richard. I think he's resting.
I'm feeling better. That's interesting because if he was to go, in the near future, I don't know if they would be able to get a special election together quickly enough to fill his seat.
Yeah,
that would take some time, and the Republicans might be down a vote.
Well, there's also, in Kentucky, they passed a resolution in their state Congress to prevent the governor from replacing the senator. And Beshear's threatened that he's going to replace him anyways, and they can challenge him in court. So there's going to be a legal battle over that statute they passed in there.
Huh. Do they? I wonder if the Senate has a confirmation. Like how Mike Johnson was not confirming that the Congresswoman from Arizona, he kept her shut out.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's in the Kentucky Constitution, or I should say I don't know which is in the Constitution. I know that prior to Mitch McConnell getting ill, it was the governor who could replace. And then they changed the law to strip that power away from the governor. And Beshear is talking about fighting it. So we'll see what happens. I think this one actually, maybe a little for Carter, will this actually go? Will Beshear announce and take this to court? Got the King of Swords, the Page of Wands, the Death card, Temperance, Four of Swords. That tells me yes. It's like, it's the power grab. When he's gone, I'm going to do the power grab just like the Republicans do. Underneath it, the Four of Swords, the courts may try to delay it. So you may be right, Gary. They may not get somebody in there. But this new law is going to be explored. These actions are going to be explored. Maybe they come up with a compromise or something along those lines. Or it could be that the court stays. Either they get nobody in or Beshear's going to get somebody in there. Because I think this is going to get tied up in the courts.
It seems like that would be, poetic justice, because the Trump and the Republicans have been just running roughshod through norms and protocols. So why not,
As Rose Blue pointed out, Beshear can say "sue me" and "f you," which is kind of the. Thank you, by the way, for the donation, Rose Blue. That's kind of the vibe I'm talking about here. It's just sort of like the Republicans do whatever they want and then say, "Take me to court to stop me from doing it." Beshear should do the same thing. Mm-hmm. Get your guy in there first, and then use the courts. While the courts try and figure it out, your guy's already in there.
Yeah. But that was my question: is does the Senate have the ability to block or prevent the person from getting sworn in the way Mike Johnson was doing it to that congresswoman from Arizona?
That's true. They can always do that, but they're in session, so you can't use that.
That we're not in session.
Forma meeting BS that they were using before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what kind of questions we got out there in the audience, in audience land?
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention. I haven't really been asking questions. They've just been commenting. Weekend at Mitchie's. I know, right? Oh, somebody had asked, I did not feel the earthquake. There was a 5.6 earthquake around the Willits area. I did get an alert on my phone, which was interesting. So I got an alert, but I didn't feel anything. And then when I looked it up, and it took a couple of moments for it to pop up, and it was in Willits. So I did I sent Linda G a text message because she's over in Santa Rosa, which is about 80 miles north of where Gary and I live, and about maybe 100 miles south of Willits, maybe 80 to 100 miles south of Willits. And she didn't feel anything either. So
yeah, I didn't feel a darn thing. Shaker. Yeah, that's a pretty good sized earthquake for sure. But one of the ladies that works for me mentioned that there was some earthquake warning on her phone. I had no idea what she was talking about.
Why was Trump at Camp David?
They don't have a golf course there.
To get to the other side. Yes. And he doesn't like going to Camp David. There's some speculation that maybe he wanted to get some medical treatment there and be away from the public, and certainly, not like Walter Reed type of notice or the White House notice. So for Carter, Gary, why was Trump at Camp David? That's way more than 4 cards.
This is not helpful. The first card I was okay with. The next 3 are not very helpful to me. So I've got the foundation is the Knight of Pentacles. Because my first thought was, I wonder if they're having like a quote unquote war room to kind of get up to speed on the negotiations in Iran. And this is kind of sitting back and looking at, what progress do we have with Iran? Is the Strait of Hormuz open? Then underneath it is the 3 of Cups, the celebrations that that are coming from that negotiation. But the problem is that Trump can't spin this as a victory. He could try and spin it to his MAGA faithful that he's done some great thing, but then you got the Knight of Swords. But then now the pushback he's getting, and you mentioned it with that one senator that got ousted, is you rushed in where fools fear to tread. You're too hasty. It's kind of like he's really in a bad situation because he was too hasty to go in, and now he's too hasty to get out. And he needs to be a more thoughtful on how he exits that if he wants to celebrate a victory. So to me, it's he's at Camp David for Iran and the negotiations with Iran. What did you?
I start off with the Knight of Swords. Urgent meeting. Come on, get up here. And underneath with the Strength card, they're strategizing something. Now, here's the interesting one. Underneath is the 5 of Coins, wealth, health, and values. It could be that they're there to treat something for his health. And with the Knight of Cups and the Lover's card, that's entirely possible, but I don't think that's the main reason. I've also used Pentacles as a card to represent votes. And
interesting.
And to me, and you might even rethink your reading here, if it's about voter suppression and strategy for the upcoming election, he knows that things are not good. He wants to get the SAVE Act pushed in there. They have to start controlling the narrative about the elections being stolen if they don't go there. Basically, what kind of voter suppression can we put out there? How else can we cheat? And what can we do now to say that the election was stolen so that when we lose the election, we don't have to leave power? Yeah. I get the Knight of Cups. I think he's got the coup members. All the members of the coup are going to be there, and they're in this conspiracy together to come up with ideas on how to steal this election. And it might make sense that they don't want to be in Washington because they don't want J.D. Vance or or like if there's tech bros or something like that, if not everybody in the cabinet's a loyal soldier, they don't want him around. Is Vance even around, or is Vance over in Pakistan trying to? Or
I thought he was. I thought he was out of the country negotiating.
That would make sense,
but I don't know that for a fact. But yeah, if I look at those cards that I threw, as far as looking at the November elections and how they can influence the elections to favor Trump and the Republicans, or sow suspicion, yeah, those cards do fit that. The Knight of Pentacles sort of assessing the field, where the votes are, and then the Three of Cups underneath. How do we assess this field so that we can celebrate? And you had the Page of Cups, which is, basically that's your MAGA card to keep the MAGA party energized, and then the Knight of Swords. But we're running out of time. We need to rush into this. We need to charge boldly forth with whatever plan we decide we're going to put into place.
He arrived in San Diego today from Air Force 2.
What's he doing? Playing golf?
We just got back from Switzerland. I'm going to see where his Trump's obviously in DC, right? Because he did the kickoff today.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Okay. Here's a question for you, Gary.
Oh. I would just like to know why anybody would be a Republican to begin with. Well, I'll tell you. There's probably a few reasons. Now, Dave and I grew up in a very conservative Republican household. My dad was, when he was a young man, he worked, I don't know if he was ever in a union when he was working for the post office. I don't know if he was like a seasonal worker, or if he actually was like an apprentice in the union, but he was not a fan of unions. He felt that unions tended to protect the people that didn't want to work. He didn't like being taxed. And probably bought into the whole fallacy that the Republicans are the party of fiscal responsibility. So, and then, the Republicans tend to be kind of the more macho kind of party, the law and order party, if you will. And so that's what I think the draw is. What Dave's kind of, as we've gotten older, I've become far more progressive and liberal than my dad ever was. Even in my dad's best, he was way to the right of me. And I'm probably more middle of the road. My dad was a huge fan of Rush Limbaugh, and he was thrilled when Fox finally developed their own news channel, because it's about time there was someone that was telling truthful news and not slanted to the Democrats. Wow. So it's people who are Republicans. Dave's observation is the current Republican Party, they stoke fear into their constituents.
That's how they control people.
Constituents tend to have more of that reptilian brain.
Yep.
They respond to fear-based rhetoric.
Studies have shown that.
And that's the people that are more susceptible to fear-based, because either they lack education, they lack the willingness to critically think, or they're very comfortable and trusting of the government, and they're okay with an authoritarian kind of telling them what to do.
Especially if the authoritarian is telling them what they want to hear.
Yes, exactly.
And
that falls back on the critical thinking.
Yeah. I know somebody who's a lieutenant colonel that was a good friend of mine for many years, who's very intelligent with good critical thinking skills, and he has totally fallen under the spell of this guy. And I'm telling you what, the only thing that's left is that he was telling them things he wanted to hear, playing on his prejudices and fears.
Yeah.
And that's, that's what did it for him.
Yeah.
It's really disappointing.
But once again, it comes down to that. You got to turn the critical thinking on and at least challenge what you're being told as opposed to accepting it because it's what you want to hear. So that's kind of my short answer to that. I guess that wasn't really a short answer.
But also the Republican Party have sent out this message that we're the fiscal conservatives, we want a strong military, stuff like that. When you're a young guy with a lot of testosterone, that sounds great.
Yeah.
But first off, the Republicans have lied about their fiscal responsibility. They are horrific with money. What they mean by fiscal responsibility is make themselves and their buddies really, really wealthy and screw everybody else.
Yeah. Cut programs to help people that need assistance.
Yeah. It's just it's a piss. The Republican Party is just a pissing contest of very small men.
It's about
women in there too, but you get the idea.
Yeah,
I'm not impressed with the party. This is gonna be a good one. Where do you see Mother Tucker Carlson going now that he's dropped out of the GOP party? Is he attempting a run for the White House? Absolutely, he is. He is an opportunist, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. They are trying to wash the MAGA smell off of their clothes, even though they have been complicit for the last 10 years in advancing this nonsense. And he is trying to reconstitute himself with the America First Party. And, trying to sort of latch onto them like a pilot fish on a shark.
Right. That's exactly what he's doing.
And it was a pilot fish. I think I got right.
He and Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're going to be running mates. So that's going to be
something. I know America First wants Massey in there, but you get the idea. But let's take a look, Gary. Throw 4 cards. What do you? Is Tucker trying to make a run for the White House? I got to revert. I got that same card reversed. Oh dear, these cards are terrible. I get the 7 of Cups reversed. Don't trust this guy. He lacks integrity. Center underneath it is the 3 of Swords. He's a liar, a scammer, a cheat, an Ace of Wands, and an opportunist. And this is his opportunity to try and erase that. Again, you got the Sun card and the Queen of Cups. He's trying to act like he wasn't part of the problem. But the thing is, he was on television. He was there for everybody to see. And I think he's trying to cast himself as a truth teller. Now, mind you, this is the same guy that Karen McDougal sued for defamation. And the judge ruled that he couldn't have defamed people because he lies all the time. And it's up to the audience to determine when he's lying or telling the truth. But they should know he's lying because of the outlandish things he says. That was his defense for getting out of a lawsuit where he clearly defamed somebody. So, he's a lying liar who lies. F that guy. He's part of the problem.
Yeah, my cards are basically, unfortunately, it's why he dropped out of the GOP, not what's happening next. Because Foundation of the 4 of Wands, he helped put this administration into power.
Yep.
But now he's realizing that what they were promising and what was delivered was a bunch of illusions.
Well, I think there's still power left and it's time to jump ship, right? Yep. Time to go.
Time to go.
Time to go.
Yep.
I'm going to take my cups and leave.
Yep, exactly. And this is kind of his way of kind of giving back to his audience because he put all of that in all of his power and influence into getting Trump into office, and he misled his audience. So this is kind of his way. Yeah, I agree. This is his way of giving back, and it's to preserve his star power. Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. The Republican Party, the Republican Party, as it has traditionally been known, it died in 2016. I guess it really died in 2024 for sure, because they put Trump back in office. That there was just at that point there's no hope for them.
Somebody earlier was asking about the Housing Affordability Act that it was supported bipartisan through Congress, and Trump isn't going to sign it into law. And some folks, I think I was watching the Necessary Conversation. They were talking about that, and it's just like, he's already told you he's not going to sign anything unless you pass the SAVE Act. He's not going to sign any legislation, even popular legislation that makes people's lives easier. Okay. So Thune and Cassidy seem pissed. Are we about to see the dominoes fall on the GOP side? This is going to be one of those things that if the GOP wants to get this passed, because it's going to pull the wool over the eyes of their constituents, that they actually care about them in making their lives easier, which would make it easier for them, if they're running for re-election, to be reelected. So they want this. The Democrats want it probably for the same reason, and because they have an iota of compassion for people that is considered a weakness and a unnecessary trait in the current party represented by the GOP. But I mentioned also earlier, Gary, I was thinking that the oligarchs are leaving, and the GOP seems to be fed up with Trump. Let's do a reading. Is the GOP, what's next for the GOP with Dear Leader?
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh my, one card reading. Start with the Tower.
There's a lot of activity going on here. I don't know if they're ready to leave him yet, though. And the key part is Six of Coins. They need money. They have to secure money. If they can secure money and then they feel comfortable in their positions, then they can kick him out. But until then, they're looking over their shoulder. It's like it's too soon to move yet. Underneath it all with the Eight of Wands, but there's momentum picking up with this. Maybe they're making phone calls for donations from the tech bros, or they're cutting deals with the tech bros on this. This doesn't happen without a bunch of money being infused into the GOP. The GOP is basically, you think about it, you need money to be reelected. Because if the other side outspends you, you're going to be primaried and removed, or you won't be voted in. And they need to secure that financing in order to suddenly remember that they are actually not invertebrates.
So I've got the Tower card. So what we're reading on is basically how's the GOP going to react to Trump? I forget what the exact question was. But we got the Tower card. They're watching everything getting torn down around them, and underneath it is the Ten of Cups, which is, it's impacting the family values and the family. How do I want to put this? It's kind of their happiness is being impacted by all of this upheaval and chaos that Trump is sowing. And I think what's happening in the background is you've got the Two of Cups, where they're starting to make agreements and deals, either within their own party or looking across the aisle, but they're waiting for the health event to happen. They're waiting for Trump to be removed out of office. So it's kind of what Dave was saying is, you need money to get reelected. They can't challenge Dear Leader, and that was the card underneath it, was the double card, until Trump has been completely neutered. They're afraid to make a move because you can see what happened to some of the senators that pushed back. They got primaried and lost their primaries. And it's the end of their quote unquote political career. And, how are you going to make millions off the stock market if you're not in Congress? There's something I want to say about the dominoes falling on the GOP. I forgot what it was. Probably wasn't important.
That makes for good television.
I was telling myself, okay, now don't forget to make your comment on that. But now I forgot what the comment was. Sure, it was very insightful. It would have shown a bright light on everyone.
Yeah. There's a conversation I was watching. Rose Blue was talking about Kristi Noem not being allowed into Canada and things going back and forth on that. I looked it up. There's nothing on Google saying that she was prevented from going into Canada. The only incident with Canada that they mentioned was back in January of 2025. She walked over a paper border or something like that. And something she did that pissed off a bunch of Canadians, and there was a backlash for that. But obnoxious Americans acting obnoxiously. Who could have ever foreseen such a thing?
Yeah. Apparently, it's apparently who we are.
All right.
Did you hear about the U.S. Postal Service? The government representative, probably the White House representative, is saying that they're not going to deliver mail-in ballots unless the blue states provide voter rolls. Basically, it's another way to try to get the SAVE Act.
They will cheat with anything that they can do.
Yeah,
and just to see will they get any pushback for it.
Yeah, my first thought is, I'm sure the lawsuits will land fast and furious if they try and do that.
Will the SAVE Act get passed?
I remember what I was going to say about that comment, because the SAVE Act was part of it, where Trump doesn't want to approve that bipartisan housing initiative. Apparently, if he doesn't sign it, it goes into law 10 days after it goes to him, not including Sundays. So unless he vetoes it, it's going to go into law.
I think unless Congress is out of session. There was something, I think there was a caveat with it, because it was talked about last year that if, something could be passed by the Epstein Files Act, the Congress could pass it. And then if they're out of session and the president doesn't sign it, it just sort of goes into limbo and nothing ever happens with it.
Well, now there's going to be a clock on it. You can't just go out of session and then laws that have been passed by Congress get ignored. I can't say
it's called a soft veto or something like that. There's actually a term for it.
Well, the problem with this housing thing is it's got enough bipartisan votes, I think, to override a veto if he decides to veto it. And that would be a huge mistake if he tried to veto it. If they've got the ability to override it, that is a bad political mistake on Trump's part. It's a popular piece of legislation, and it would be showing his lame duck status if he was to veto it and they were to override it.
A related concept is the pocket veto, where an executive effectively kills a bill by simply ignoring it during an adjournment. Pocket veto.
Okay.
So that's the thing. Will the SAVE Act get passed? Well, right now it's the problem that Congress is running into is that the Democrats have declared the filibuster on it. Mm-hmm. I think they should go back to having a talk. Anyways, like Mr. Smith goes to Washington.
Yes.
Anyways, so the Democrats have declared filibusters. So the Republicans need to come up with 60 people to overcome the filibuster. The only other way to do it is to suspend or go nuclear on the filibuster and get rid of it. But even if the Republicans did that, and Senate Majority Leader Thune is not interested in doing that, I think it's because he can do the math that even if they do that, they still don't have the 50 votes plus the vice president that they need to stop it. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because 4 senators have crossed over and refused to allow for the SAVE Act to go forward. So right now, unless suddenly a lot of pressure or money is thrown at these 4 Republicans who are supporting the filibuster, it's not going anywhere. But no, 4 cards. It's worth the 1 card or 4 cards is. You can have 1 card if you want. You want to do 1 or 4?
Let's see what the 1 card is. Sometimes it's really clear with 1 card.
I get the 5 of Wands. There's going to be fighting, arguing, bickering over this.
That's the filibuster card right there.
No, I don't think it will. 5 of Cards is pretty much 5 of Wands is pretty much a no. There's just going to be a lot of fighting over this.
I got the Page of Pentacles, which to me
would.
Yeah. To me, this is come up with a better idea.
Yeah.
Because, voter suppression is not a founding pillar of our society. If you want to suppress votes, come up with a different set of legislation there. This is too core to people's view of democracy that you're going against that.
Christina was on the board of that company. Okay, that's the U.S. Connects clogged their emails and tied up their phones complaining about it. I'll just try the Ingus for further updates. Beep, 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 Thank you, Charmaine.
On another note, Truth Social stock.
Your buddy
had a tough day on the market. Down 36 cents is to $7.50.
That's not good.
No, once it gets into the 6s, that's from Lost in Space. That's the robot. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. And if it gets below 6 and into the 5s, that's it. It's game over.
And again, Gary, all through the election, Gary and I were saying, watch the Truth Social stock because that's like the poly market betting.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great popularity.
As that price of that stock goes down, it's what they're telling you more and more is Trump's influence on this country. And right now it's below $7, but not below $8 a share.
Yeah, $7.50.
Yeah, he's declining. I'm telling you, he's declining. I don't know how long we have with him. I tell you what, though, if the Democrats take Congress in the upcoming election, that'll speed up that process tremendously. And honestly, at this point, I know that Sterling has been saying it for years, and I've been agreeing with him that Trump will try and make his escape to Saudi Arabia, or most likely it would be Saudi Arabia, not Russia, because Putin's also not doing well, both health-wise and with his war in Ukraine. Putin may not be in power long, so that would not be a great place for Trump to go to. And Israel, Netanyahu's under a lot of pressure as well. So even then, he may not be in power long for Trump to want to go there. Trump has spent a lot of time currying favors with the Saudis, and that would seem to be a good place for him to sort of go to play golf and love it so much he never wants to come back. But again, the other thing is this guy's health is so lousy that flight to France, 5-hour flight to France, I think it is, from Washington, D.C., that took a lot out of his sales. And I don't know if he can fly distances like that anymore. I think it's just too hard on his body, which is probably why he's on this emergency compassionate use GLP-1.
Yes.
Because if he wants to get out of the country, he needs to lose some weight.
Yeah, keep an eye on Truth Social.
Yeah. One of the side effects of flying in a plane is that they pressurize the cabin, but it's only to like the atmosphere, 7,000 feet, 9,000 feet?
Yes, I know where you're going with this.
And there's outgassing.
No.
Yes, there's outgassing. So you can imagine he's like, oh, hold on, I got to get up. Oh, my. I'm going to call that one Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That's right. Melania's going to insist on flying commercial.
Marco, let me give you a pair of shoes. Let me tie that shoe for you.
Yeah, my goodness.
If Michelle was here, she'd be in hysterics. My wife loves fart noises.
Yes, Shelley's a big fan.
It's unfortunate she hates Elon so much, because having a Model Y with the fart sound on the screen, always hilarious. Are you familiar with the fart app?
I am not familiar with the fart app.
Yeah, they have a fart app. You can just press the screen, you hear a little fart sound coming out of various speakers.
They do have a sense of humor over at Tesla Motors.
Oh, yes, they do. All of it 10 years old.
Oh, Cindy Grogan's got a great question.
Oh, God.
Is it Hungary?
Albania. Boy, God, we could learn a lesson from the Albanians, couldn't we?
Oh my God, I love them. I think Hungary was the election earlier where they had the candlelight. Basically, they were saying, "Don't screw with our election."
Yeah.
And to me, Albania's got that same vibe going, where we are out in mass, and you cannot ignore us.
Yeah.
You ignore us at your own peril. And that, to your point, David, that's what we need to do. It's not just the next No Kings March. It needs to be like what they were doing up in Portland and Seattle. But we need...
With Ivanka's Island, I'm getting the Moon card, the Ten of Wands with the Sun card underneath. I think this was something that she should have shut her trap on this by going out there and saying that they were doing this. That activated the crowd, and they are going to make life miserable for her. If she had just shut up for 5 seconds, they probably would have gotten out there. But the thing is, this would have worked if it was a secret. The secret's out.
Yep. What I've got is they need to put this thing to bed to detoxify the situation that they're currently finding themselves in. I think in this case, the protests are going to be extraordinarily effective.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Amy. Yay.
It's a work day, so be careful how much beer you drink.
I will make my way to the refrigerator shortly. I'll just tell my wife, Amy said we couldn't do a live without beer money. That's true.
All right. We've been going for an hour. It's a work night. It's 8:30. Any parting comments for the audience before we sign off here?
Oh my gosh. Like I said, I'm going to do a pajama party Friday night. That'll be the 26th of June, midnight Pacific time for our insomniacs and the folks in Australia who it's a very reasonable afternoon time. And I guess in Europe, if you're an early bird, you could catch it. But just do a live stream just to say hi to the insomniacs and see how everyone's doing. That's all I've got going on. And I got 2 readings that are coming up. I'll put them out tonight. Looking at Kash Patel's girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins.
Alexa.
She's performing at the Freedom 250 Great American State Fair, and someone accused her of basically being nepotism, and she's pushing back, saying, "No, it's because I'm really talented." It's like, okay. And the one point I kind of came up with when I was throwing cards is, oh, wait a minute. It's such short notice. They can only hire people that aren't working.
Exactly.
So
I wonder if Laura Trump's going to sing for him too.
I'm sure that's why Kid Rock isn't there, because he's probably already committed to a gig somewhere else, right? So I got that, and I forget what the other reading was. Oh, it was the reflection pool. I don't have any feety pajamas.
Maybe you should go get some. And for myself, on Sunday, June 28th at 3:00, I am doing a collaboration with Psychic Debbie Griggs.
Yay!
Blessings and smiles for everybody.
Did you do your thing with Hogarth already?
I believe that's July 1st.
Okay. So that's a week from now. Wow.
That is indeed. So,
and then our next live is going to be with Elspeth.
Yeah, I got that on the StreamYard. I forget what date it is.
It's the 11th, 13th. Let's see. It is on the 11th.
The 11th, July 11th, 1:00.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us on such short notice. We had over 500 people in the chat, which is a good time. Thank you, Marina, for showing up and keeping the chat lively over there.
Indeed. Rose Blue, you as well.
Yes. And thank you again to Rose Blue and Amy Sanders for the contributions. Really do appreciate it. Absolutely. Gary's beer doesn't buy itself these days.
As much as
all right, everyone. Have a good night, and we'll catch you soon. Take care.
Take care, folks. Bye.